Welcome to Word for Today. I'm Pastor Carey, and Word for Today is when we take one word from one chapter in the book of Proverbs and reflect a little bit on that. Today's word is the word diligence. We want to talk more about that. We'll be right back. There's a great passage in Proverbs chapter 21, verse number 5 that says this: "The plans of the diligent lead to profit, as surely as haste leads to poverty." Well, what does that word diligent mean? It just means careful and persistent work or effort. If you're ever going to reach your goals, if you're ever going to accomplish something meaningful in life, you have to continue to hang in there even when it's tough, and be persistent and to attend your work with careful effort. There are certain characteristics that I would say mark the individual who is diligent, and here's just a short list of those. One is the person who's diligent is someone who's punctual, is that they show up for work on time or maybe even a little early, and they're ready to go. They're self-starters, is that he or she, is that nobody has to prime the pump for that person, is that they're ready to work and they can identify the problems and figure out good solutions to those. They stick with an assignment until it's done, and there's no just half-hearted work or half-finished jobs, but they see a project through all the way to completion, and they are concerned about it being done rightly. Number 4 is that the diligent are not complainers. Yeah, let's face it, that work is not always easy. And a lot of times that we're faced with difficulties in our jobs. But when we're faced with difficulties, we have one problem. When we begin complaining about it, that we have two problems. And I'm a great believer in minimizing the problems that we face, and just eliminate the complaining and just focus on managing the challenges that are right before you. The diligent are eager to learn new things. They want to make themselves indispensable. And so they have a natural curiosity about the job. It's not one of these things about I'm just going to punch in and do my job and punch out for the day. Is I want to learn new ways. I want to improve. I want to grow as an employee or a servant. And then finally, the diligent are not hasty. That's what we read in that book of Proverbs there. Haste simply means acting too rashly or without sufficient consideration. And so it's an easy way to get all tangled up in our work and not to be successful if we're too hasty. The hasty person doesn't think things through. A lot of times there are additional challenges and obstacles, considerations that we have to factor into our choices and into our plans. And the hasty person, they get the idea in their head and then they're off and running and they don't think things through. Another passage of scripture in the book of Proverbs says this: "Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth." Let me encourage you this week to work with diligence, particularly when it comes to serving the Lord, and find opportunities where you can show diligence in your life and encourage that in the lives of others. Proverbs chapter 21 has plenty of great verses in it, and I would just challenge you to spend a little bit of time in that text and see what else that the Lord brings to your attention about how you can live with wisdom. Well, that's it for now. I'm Pastor Carey.